And now let's talk about our first topic, which is Mats and Gats. So let's go over what's going on there. I've heard this from a bunch of people in a whole bunch of different varying circles. Mats is, of course, late March. I think this year was the 28th through the 30th, right? Something like that.
Yes, 28th through the 30th.
Yep, and that is in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. Louisville, yeah, however you pronounce it. And then Gats is, of course, in Dallas, Texas, in late August. So a lot of people have proposed, and it's been a couple months now since Mats has been around, since we went to the Mats show. So the sting of the cold weather and annoying rain has kind of worn off. But I remember back in late March when we went to Mats, everyone was like, I hate this weather. I hate this weather. This rain is ridiculous. Why don't we change, the show dates to something later on? So 2 years ago, when I went to Mats 2018, it snowed like 6 inches on all of the trucks that were there.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
And that's happened before at the show. So why don't we switch the show dates?
I think that a lot of it may have to do with the availability of the venue. Because
That's probably true.
the summer, I'm sure that venue gets really busy. Rates probably go up, so the people who run the show may not want to pay the higher rates.
Right.
I mean, there's a number of factors that goes into it. I personally would be for switching it up,
Yeah.
Also, people have become accustomed to all of the big things for the year being announced at Mats.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was
Yeah.
going to bring up. The really big thing that I think Mats holds on to as a show is the fact that it's the earliest show in the year, the earliest big show in the year, and so that's where all the OEs and other big manufacturers announce their big parts, their big new stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, the 389 was announced there in 2000, I believe it was 6 or 7, and so I mean, there have been multiple trucks announced. W990 was announced there. They had the official release there with the truck, and people could actually get into it this year. And I mean, it's the show where everything happens and everything is released, right? And I think that's one thing that they really want to hold on to, and specifically why not only just space, but also they want to hold that spot as the number one show, right?
Yeah. I mean, again,
The leader.
If the schedule allowed it, then they might consider that. But the value of having a truck show where all of these events are happening, all of these announcements and everything. Because, if GATS was the early show, then the OEs would probably go to GATS and do that. And then they may not end up coming to Mats.
Right. I just feel like they've had a decline in turnouts, haven't they, for the past couple of years?
I don't think so. I think it's stayed about pretty
Has it been
steady,
pretty
but
steady?
it hasn't
Okay.
grown like they wanted it to.
Okay.
either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like obviously Mats and GATS are owned by two separate, and they're put on by two separate companies, obviously, or and two separate individuals, I believe, that are owning these and putting these on. So I guess I don't think they'll ever get together and ever switch anything, but maybe especially Mats. I think the real problem is Mats, and it's not GATS. So no one has a problem going to Dallas most of the time in late August, right? It is hot. Don't get me wrong. It's like 100 degrees every single day, but that's not as bad as having snow on show trucks, right? So I think it's really Mats is the problem. If Mats could move back a month, 3 weeks, something like that.
Well, because when's the next big show? After Mats, what is the next big show? When is it?
ATHS probably.
And so that was just recently.
That was
So that
this
was
past
just
weekend.
this past weekend. So we're talking June, beginning of June. So
Yeah,
they have
late
two
May.
whole months. They have all of April and all of May that they could still be that first show of the year, but maybe avoid some of the weather issues. And,
Yeah, you're not
and
wrong
again,
about that.
with what Jack said, I don't know if the venue maybe doesn't allow for that planning wise, but I mean, maybe not moving it completely or switching it completely, but just
Right.
changing the date of it, just pushing it back a little bit further.
Yeah, I mean ATHS is also a historical society show. It's not. It's more designed to be a historical society. It's a bigger show, but yeah, it's just I think now that I think about it more, Jack might be right about that because they have no reason not to push it back further. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be the prices.
There must be a reason
Yeah,
that
I
we're
mean,
just not seeing.
That's what I'm thinking because if they have 2 months until the next really big show, which is ATHS, that kind of sounds like that there must be another limiting factor there, and it might be space and the cost of space there.
For sure.
But yeah, so if I hope you guys get to go to GATS at some point. It's a really, really fun show. But so let's talk about MATS and GATS a little bit, the differences between those, and how those could change, right? So MATS has always been, they have the PKY show, obviously. It's a really, really nice truck show there. But the MATS show has turned more into a trade show specifically.
Right.
So it was your first truck show, first of all, and also your first like trade show in the trucking industry, right?
Right,
Okay.
yes.
So give me your impression of MATS and what it was compared to the other truck show that you've been to.
Well, the other one that I went to was really small, so it was mostly not heavy trucks.
Right, it was
not,
working truck, yeah.
It was all work trucks. So this show was a lot more of the show trucks, but also a lot more vendors that I wasn't expecting.
Right.
Like almost like, I don't want to say like a flea market vibe, but like walking through there, like I feel
Yeah.
like there was just people everywhere just selling stuff that wasn't necessarily
Very corporate, yeah.
yeah, it wasn't necessarily pertinent always either too. Like I thought there was just like some
Yeah.
random
It's
like
almost gotten too
belt
swollen,
places
yeah.
or like clothing or just like, stuff that I was like, that's
Why-
weird
why is
that
this
that's
here?
here.
Yeah, why is this
and,
here? Yeah.
Which is fine because the variety's nice.
Right.
But also I wondered if other truck shows were like that because
No. So you'll go to Ray and Tool here at the near the end of July, and you'll see what an actual, I don't want to say an actual truck show. That's going to offend a lot of people, isn't it? Okay, MATS is an actual truck show. Okay,
Obviously,
but,
oh, yeah.
But that's not what we're saying. The PKY show, definitely a real truck show, but the largest part of MATS is the trade show. Like they fill up the entire
yeah, there was a whole
Kentucky
end,
Convention
yeah.
Center of trade show stuff, right?
Right.
So when you go to Rand Tool or another show like that, or a truck show, it's going to be trucks, and that's about it. There will be vendors there, obviously, but they're going to be like a side show compared to at MATS. The main show is the vendors, right? The corporate part.
Well, and one thing I also noticed about MATS was it seemed like all of the show trucks were really outside in the PKY lot or in
Right.
the other lots, like just surrounding the convention center, and then
Yeah.
like on the actual inside, that's where more of like
Yeah.
the vendors and stuff.
So
were.
in other shows, the show trucks are the main focus. So
Right.
they're everywhere. At ATHS, the entire parking lot was filled with trucks, and
it looked like it from the
it was-
photos
yeah,
I've
it was
seen.
huge. It was
Yeah.
1,000 trucks or something like that. So, but yeah, the show trucks are the focus there. Obviously, ATHS and the stuff on the inside, the Historical Society, is obviously a very important part. But the stuff on the inside is kind of secondary to the truck show on the outside. Totally opposite with MATS. GATS GATS has the truck show inside, but there's only 30 trucks there. I mean, they're 30 of the best trucks in the world, right?
Right.
But the rest of the facility is taken up by convention center vendor stuff. So MATS and GATS, very similar in structure of having a bunch of vendors and a bunch of companies there. Not a lot of, comparatively, not a lot of show
Not
trucks there.
solely trucks. Like,
Yeah. So they're almost like a part of the show instead of being the show.
So I think to sum it all up, it would be nice if
be wonderful.
if they could switch, but probably not likely. to
Could we
happen.
just set up a meeting with the owners
No.
and
Who
the
owns-
owners?
who owns the MATS
Let us
show?
know. If you know who that is, give them a shout.
I can't remember who owns the MATS show. And then GATS is put on by Rand.
McNall?
No,
Or
no.
how do you say it?
No, it's not Rand McNally. I can't remember who it is. Nope. It's escaped my brain. Can't remember it now. Nope. It's not going to come back. Anyway, so MATS and GATS, let us know in the comments below what you think about changing those up, how that would happen, any of the changes that you would see if they swapped places. It's just an interesting topic to talk about. I know that we've juggled it back and forth a couple times. So let us know in the comments below.